Living on the edge. In a recent class, I hovered near a child playing at the top of a set of wooden stairs, about 2 feet off the ground, making sure that if she fell, I'd be there to break her fall. I was on high alert, while she was seemingly oblivious to the edge that she was half hanging off, and her dad, watching, laughingly and kind of exasperatedly said that his daughter seems to have some sort of obsession with edges right now. Apparently, this method of play wasn't unique to this class. In fact, it's not unique to many children, but in more ways than one. Once children can crawl, I start adding equipment to the play space. First, a wide, low box, large enough for children to climb onto and crawl around, but only a few inches high. Later, I'll add a taller box as well as some other equipment, but children go through the same process with each of these pieces. They figure out how to get up, and then they must figure out how to get down. And yes, in between, they often spend a great deal of time playing on and around the edges. It can be nerve-wracking to watch a child as they figure out how to get down. Most typically, children will fall off the box or slip off sideways the first couple of times. And I want to be there to keep them from hurting themselves, but I want them to notice the fall. I want them to notice the edge. Gradually, children become more aware of the edges after that, and they go through a process to get themselves down. They look at the gap, then they look at their parent or me, and then they look at the gap again. They might reach for their parent or for me, so we'll come close, but we're going to continue to let them figure it out. Very often I'll even see a child drop a toy over the side of the edge, almost as if they're measuring. Later, maybe they'll reach their hand out, and then finally, they'll reach that hand out just enough to shift their weight and come off. And what I've described above can take weeks of children getting up and then not being able to get down by themselves. And it can be very uncomfortable for both parent and child. The child is right at the edge of their capability. And we want to ease that discomfort, and we want for them to have the skill. It's uncomfortable for us as well. Think back to a time when you were learning a new skill, or maybe trying to level up something you already know how to do. First, we're bad at it, and then we practice and get slowly better, and we go to the edge of our ability and we push against it. Sometimes we get frustrated and we'll take a break. Sometimes we just hover in the safe space of our known abilities, but sometimes we tip over the edge and reach a new level. Maybe you run farther or faster, lift heavier. Maybe you nail a song that you've been working on, or maybe you solve Wordle in 2 minutes. Or maybe you hold yourself back from rescuing your struggling child and instead let them figure it out for themselves as you watch them with care and encouragement. Being at the edge of your ability, the edge of your comfort zone, is uncomfortable. We risk getting it wrong and failing. But failing and then trying again is part of growing. And as Magda said, that's something that babies are actually primed for. And it's our discomfort that can impede that drive and influence children in their approach to challenges. While I've been talking here mostly about children's physical development, children play at the edges of their abilities in all realms. Cognitively, emotionally, socially. Play is how children explore their worlds, both outer and inner. And since they are often at the edges of their abilities, it stretches us, too, to be at the edges of our own self-awareness. It challenges us to learn to recognize the difference between a frustrated but still working child and one who's tipped past struggle and into suffering. And it also gifts us with the awareness that children are constantly developing and doing the very best they can at any given moment. When children play, they often seek out what adults seek to avoid: disequilibrium, novelty, loss of control, surprise. But since raising children brings us right back to disequilibrium, novelty, loss of control, and surprise, maybe if we slow down and watch, we can learn from babies. Maybe we can start to get comfortable with the uncomfortableness of living at the edge of our abilities.